Stopping foreclosures is what we do. Today on In the Trenches with your TC, we are going to talk about not only a foreclosure that was stopped this week and a house that was saved for a client and the seller, but also a deal that was done on the back of a mule. Okay. Let's talk about this. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Hannah.
She's Hannah. Hannah, so this week, like we're not talking about something from a month ago. This week, how was your Monday? Tell me about it.
Monday was intense. The seller called and said, hey, I just got a notice that the sale is going to happen on Thursday.
So when did we get the file from the client?
2 weeks ago.
Okay.
But the seller did not disclose that there was foreclosure, pending, back payments.
So you had just been doing your normal stuff. We call the seller, kind of, walk people through that process. What happens when you get a file?
So we go through the process. We have a questionnaire that we fill in. It kind of gives us all the red flags if there's homeowners associations that we need to work through, pending bankruptcies, foreclosure, any liens or judgments that they might be aware of.
The reason you send that out to them is you're looking for potential problems, like things that could pop up at the last minute. We want to know at the beginning, right?
Right.
Because it gives you time to work on it.
Right.
Okay. So no mention of foreclosure in all of this?
None.
Shocking. Okay.
Yes.
But then Monday, phone rings and
he's in a panic. Is there any way we can close this week?
But why?
Right.
What makes you want to close so rapidly, sir?
So he sends me a picture of the notice saying that the sale is at 10:30 on Thursday morning.
Yesterday, Thursday.
Thursday.
Oh, okay. All right. And your answer is?
Well, I still need the third-party authorization so that we can
thing that I sent you that you haven't done yet. Okay.
Yeah, so we can even talk to the bank on your behalf.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, how do I do that?
Same way you could have done 2 weeks ago, but now it's okay. We understand.
It's in your email. I just need you to sign that, and I need you to get me your full social security number and your account number.
Yeah. Chop, chop. Let's go.
Yes.
Okay. So he snaps to business.
No.
No? Okay.
I asked him for it 5 times on Monday, at least 5 more times on Tuesday.
Was he like, I'm working, I can't do it, or just?
He just blew me off.
Yeah. Pretty typical, though, with people who are in foreclosure, right? You find that happens a lot?
Yes. They really feel like they can just ignore it for a little bit, and it might go away.
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier today. It's almost like that ostrich syndrome, right? They stick their head in the sand, and it's not really going to happen to me. No, sir, it is going to happen to you. It's a machine that's just going to keep rolling right past you, and
Very much
they
so.
will come move you out of your house. Do you find that it's people who are in foreclosure are like harder to get a hold of? When you're needing information from them, or are they as responsive as everybody else?
They're pretty much as responsive as anybody else.
Yeah.
They just don't acknowledge that that's a problem. So once we know that it is a problem, really and truly the solution is to say, I need your help to help. Let me help you.
Right.
I need your
So
help.
when you hear this, like you spring, like we know that we're on the clock, right?
Yes.
Like we know we've got to save this deal.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So 5 calls Monday, still doesn't come back.
Tuesday, I called him at least another 5 times. Still doesn't come back.
Like he's just not answering you at all.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So Wednesday, because the sale's Thursday, so like time's running out, right?
Right. So, and through all of this, as soon as I found out on Monday, I also called his bank. I told him, I know that you can't talk to me without the authorization, but can you also confirm what other information you're going to need so that we can get this postponement?
So being very proactive. I love that. Good job.
So we got the attorney's information and got their manager on the line. So I talked directly to the foreclosure department manager since we knew the sale was on Thursday. She gave me the list of everything that they needed. That third-party authorization was
at the top of the
number
list.
1.
Now, on the other side, our client, did he have a buyer or is it a self-purchase? What was going on there?
It is an assignment. We do not have a buyer yet.
Oh, okay. Okay. A little dangerous.
It is a little dangerous, but thank goodness we have a dispo option. So
yes, we do.
That has been suggested, and we'll see what happens.
So for our clients, we will help you dispo your deal. Okay.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So when does he? I know the answer, but when do you get this authorization and all of this information?
Wednesday at noon.
At noon. Attaboy. 2.5 days to click sign here.
Yeah.
Okay, that happens, right? This is unfortunately a common thing that we deal with sellers.
Right.
Okay, so you get the authorization. What were the other things that were needed?
I needed the full ratified contract
Okay.
showing a purchase price was above the amount that the seller owed on the
Right.
property.
Was it just the amount that's owed on the property or the amount and all the fees?
It needed to be above what he owed.
Okay.
So, but without the authorization,
Didn't
we
matter.
have no idea how much that actually is.
Oh, and in that letter, it didn't show. It just showed the foreclosure date.
It just showed the foreclosure date.
There were a ton of other letters that would have showed it, but
Right.
Okay.
So at that point, we didn't have a clue what his actual payoff was. We didn't have any of that information. We just
Yeah.
knew what documentation we needed to have and the authorization. So we finally got all that. I got it submitted through fax and email to the
Because we
foreclosure.
still fax like it's 1980.
Right? Who knew?
It's wild. Wild that we pay for a fax machine here. That's just it. Just every time I see it on the expense report, I'm like, this is crazy. But okay,
But it's necessary
I guess
for foreclosures, at least.
because we're going to basically send it in an email to a fax company, and it's going to print off on a fax machine. But all right,
Yeah.
silly. But go ahead.
So as soon as we got that, I got it all submitted. I finally got the seller back on the line. So had him on the phone and I said, hey, do you have 10 minutes?
Please, I need 10 minutes of focus.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, we
Like a
could
child.
probably
Focus.
do that.
Yeah.
Yes. So I got him on the phone with the bank. Got back to the same manager who
Oh, really? That's shocking.
remarkable. She even
Yeah.
remembered me when we talked.
Wow.
I was like, man, you've got a really good memory. So we went over everything. She gave him all the steps that he needed to complete, which he was able to do while we were on the phone.
Nice. Nice.
She said, the best thing I can have you do is call back tomorrow to find out if it's been approved.
So you spent basically all Wednesday afternoon on this.
Absolutely.
Wow. But good news.
Thursday morning, right at 9, I get to the office. I start getting the seller on the phone because I didn't even know if they had the authorization passed through yet.
Yeah.
So I got him on the phone. We called the bank. Remarkable. We got the same manager
Oh my
again.
gosh, that's crazy. What can you say? What bank it was?
Penny Mac.
Okay. Well, that's a big ass bank.
It is a big-ass
that's
bank.
Wild to get the same person.
Three times.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was able to tell us that everything had been pushed through. We were just waiting on the attorney's approval.
Good for her. This girl's a champ, man.
She is.
Because she didn't have to do any of that. She could have just let that sit there and just let it go and not be bothered with it.
Yeah. She could have just said, nah, you're just SOL. Sorry.
You waited too long.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So it is possible to stop these things at the last minute, but man, you need some cooperation. You know,
Very
some
much so.
stars have to line up and you have to know what to do. I'll be honest with you, I've done 1,600 deals and I probably would not have known where to even start to stop this thing. So that's the power of having, a transaction coordinator and a team that's done 8,000 files, right? Because you guys have, like, what is it? The Allstate or whatever it is, Farm Bureau, like you've seen it all. You've seen a thing or two, right?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So foreclosure auction was stopped. What'd you say? 30 minutes before?
30 minutes before the sale.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine being the poor auctioneer? He's like getting ready to get up there and he's like, oh, cross this one off, cross this one off, cross this one off.
My client was at the auction site
really?
ready to make a bid, and they announced the auction had been canceled 15 minutes before start time.
Oh, wow.
They were
Did
like,
you call and say,
yes.
thank you for doing this?
Well, she called and she said, do you know why it was canceled? I said, we got the postponement. We don't have a new sale date, so
Yeah.
we don't know how long we've got, but we've requested our
Yeah.
contract end date, and it was
Yeah.
just
So
part
she
of the
had
time.
to be happy.
Very, very ecstatic.
Wow. So this is going to be an assignment. She's getting her buyer lined up. Like roughly what is she going to make on this?
Approximately 37.
$37,000 on a deal that absolutely should have died.
Should have died.
100%. And again, do you think that if she did not have you on her side, that she would have stopped this deal?
No, she was ready to terminate.
Just terminate it. Right?
Yeah, just we're gonna have to let this one go. He
Yeah.
told us that there's the auction happening on Thursday, and I was
So-
like, "Why? We can get it stopped."
Yeah. So this is what I talk about all the time. These deals where, 50% of deals across the country die. This is exactly what we're talking about, where you just go, oops, well, this deal can't close. Like you just experienced that this week, and it's $37,000. My God, just get yourself a TC. Let us come in and help you do these deals. Like I think when people, when I say this to people, they think I'm just making shit up. But this is an example from this week of $37,000 that this girl will make, and not only that, but our job as investors is to help people, and she was able to help this seller, even though they drug their ass and and were just obstinate about not doing it. You were able to get them to do that and get on the phone, and my God, get the same person for 3 times. So great job. My goodness, that's amazing. Gold star for you. That's awesome.
One of the things we often forget about stopping a foreclosure
Mm-hmm.
is that if the seller doesn't have that foreclosure stopped, their chances of buying a home in the future are
Yeah.
much lower.
Oh, yeah.
Missed payments is
Yeah.
one thing, but a full foreclosure,
Yeah, because who's going to want to take a bet on you again the second
right?
time?
Even
You know
a
what I mean?
renter is harder to do.
I tell people that too. When I was bringing in tenants, I'll be like, listen, having an eviction is just as bad as a foreclosure. Nobody wants to bet on you because they're just going to assume that you're going to screw them over too.
Right.
Wow. Awesome. That's a great job. Okay. What else has been going on with all of your deals and all the things you've got going out there?
Oh, just some Amish country closings in
Oh my God.
Pennsylvania.
I forgot. Yeah. Let's lead with that. So there's a deal that was dependent on a mule. Like, that's the weirdest shit I've ever heard. I've heard a lot of stuff in 8,000 files that have come through here, but tell me about the mule. Why was the mule so important in this deal? And when you tell people where it is, it just makes you crack up even more.
It really does. So the the contract had already included a tractor and
Well, where is this? Where's this deal happening at?
it's in Pennsylvania,
Pennsylvania, Amish country?
Amish country.
Okay, which is a beautiful area. The food's amazing. It's awesome, but okay.
It really is.
Right.
So on top of the buyer already being Amish, which is challenging enough.
Right. But yeah, because they're not doing any electronic communication, right?
Right. And identification is different. So for,
Really? Oh, they don't do. That's right.
they don't have government issue ID. So having them
That's
signed for
something written on some
notary,
bark or something like.
they have to personally know the notary who closes them.
Oh my.
And
that's
they have to have
wild.
2 witnesses who personally know them.
Oh, I did not realize that. Okay, that's challenging.
It is challenging.
They
So
don't have IDs.
No.
What happens when they get pulled over in their horse and buggy?
they, I really don't know.
Now I'm going to butcher this word, but there's like that Rasmussen or something where Amish kids. Isn't that is that Amish or is that the ones in Utah where they like go and like they do a year or like a period where they're like
That is the
experience-
Amish.
Yeah, right, where they're experiencing the outside world, right?
Yeah.
How do they travel? Like,
I don't have a clue.
that's wild. Okay, anyway, sorry.
Yeah.
So back to back to the mule. Okay. So were they buying it from somebody Amish or
No,
they're just normal?
they're just your average.
That's not, I don't want to say that.
They're
not
your
normal.
average seller.
Okay, right.
Average sane seller.
Yes. Well, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So how does the mule get involved?
Well, the buyers went to do their walkthrough,
Mm-hmm.
and the mule was still on the premises. And apparently, he was beautiful, and they could see his future prodigy in the works.
His
And
future breeding of this mule. That's a
Apparently.
fine looking mule you got there, son. I think I'm really gonna take that mule. And I know they don't talk like that, but whatever.
So-
However they talk.
that was the contingency that the buyer came back with.
Last minute
was,
contingency.
Last minute contingency, like 3 days before close. They'd done their walkthrough. And the only way that they were going to go through with this final price based on its current walkthrough price was if the mule was included.
So, I mean, for
Apparent-
real, like, what do you do when you get like? Do they call you with this, or is it a text message or an email? Like, how does this come through?
The agent called me, and he was just completely dumbfounded. He's obviously never seen anything like
You
this
feel
either.
like the biggest goofball ever, right? Calling and being like, "So, we got a little hang up here."
So again, I get to call the sellers with the same news and basically just told them like, hey, so the buyer is Amish and they're very interested in adding the mule at the existing price if you're willing to let that happen. Surprisingly, the sellers were ecstatic.
I didn't like that mule either anyways, and I didn't know what I was going to do with it.
They were concerned with moving him across the country.
Oh, okay.
So now it was a problem solution.
So
All over
did the
the
mule
place.
transfer on a bill of sale, or like how did ownership in the mule transfer? Like,
So there were 3 extra documents added to the closing
Oh my God.
because he was some kind of registered.
oh my lord.
Yes.
Oh,
I don't really know anything about breeding mules. So
that's wild.
yes, there were 3 extra pages that the seller and the buyer had
I've never
to
heard of
include.
a deal contingent on a mule, but you have heard it now. So they got the Amish buyer. Good for him. Great negotiator, apparently. He gets the house, the property. You said a tractor.
A tractor and a mule.
Anything else?
Um,
It wasn't 40 acres, was it? Please let it be 40 acres. So they could get 40 acres and a mule. Oh, that would be
I
the
don't
best.
remember. I want to say it was only 25.
25. Well, that's why I got the tractor to make up for it.
Yeah.
So here we have a deal with a house, a property, 25 acres, tractor, and a mule. Awesome. Wow, that's the headline right there. Wow, that's awesome. And it closed?
It closed.
How much did our client make on this one?
35.
35. Solid hit. 35. Wow. Congrats. That is, we had somebody talking about a deal that closed for $500,000, but the Mule story is just as good. That's
It is just as good. It was
That's great.
one of those.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like we should pass the Mule back and forth instead of the goat.
Billy would be upset.
Right. So let's talk about that because that just kind of triggered my memory. So every week you guys are audited, right? And so, when people ask me like, well, how do I know that my transaction coordinator is going to care as much about my business as you, or as I do, right? Care as much about the business as I do. And I'm like, well, first off, we hire great people and we have a good culture, but, Heather and the team, Steve, like they do a great job like monitoring to make sure that one, you guys don't get overloaded, but that everything is happening. So what are some of the things that they're looking at in these audits?
So one of the primary things is to make sure that we're touching base with our sellers regularly.
So important.
With our buyers regularly. Making sure that the lender and the title team are connected.
Right.
And then, of course, we're checking in for those title updates.
Okay, cool. And do you think, I feel like I know the answer here, but those constant updates with the seller, that keeps the seller from like ghosting or drifting or selling to somebody else?
Absolutely.
Because it just really keeps them kind of in the loop and lets them know what's happening next so they don't get nervous.
Absolutely. And it helps us to build a relationship with them so that at close, when they have questions, they're not afraid to reach out and say, what the heck is this?
Yeah. Yeah, and I tell people that too all the time. Like, I feel like sometimes we have a better relationship with the seller than the wholesaler did, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like they'll tell us anything, and we've had some wild stories. Have you ever had, what are some of the off-the-wall things that sellers have told you that you're like, I don't know if you should be telling me that, but...
Well, I had one seller tell me that they couldn't answer the phone 5 minutes before they called me back because they were tied up.
Oh, with doing boy-girl things or something.
Yes.
Interesting. Well, I hope it was good. I don't know, man. Like, at least they were in a good mood, hopefully. That's crazy. So anyway, back to the audits, right? So let's stay on track. So the audits, you guys are audited individually and then as teams. And what happens? What happens at the end of the week?
So at the end of the week, we get together, just kind of go over what the team audit scores are and also for our individual scores.
Right.
Several of us have a friendly competition to see who can get the most 100s a week.
Right.
Or 100s in a quarter or month. I think that's really helped to add to the urge to get the
hundreds. Team that wins gets...
We get Billy the goat.
So we'll flash up a little picture here of Billy the goat here. So that's sort of like the trophy. Like who gets to have him? Do you have him right now, or does the other team? Who's got Billy right now?
He's with the bees.
He's with the bees, the killer bees, or what? What's their team name?
They're the Easy Beesies.
Easy Beesies, right? And you guys are?
We're the dumpster dousers because we're always putting out a fire.
Putting out fires. That's funny. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Any other good stories before I let you go?
Not off the top of my head.
No? All right. Well, guys, this was another episode of In the Trenches with your TC. If you liked it, make sure you do the like, do the subscribe, and share this with somebody who needs an amazing coordinator who can negotiate a mule in the deal, or make sure that no fraud is happening and that these foreclosures are happening. Because, guys, these deals are too big to be just going, whoopsie, I'm going to let this one die, because absolutely every deal that's closable, we will make sure that it gets over the finish line. So again, thank you for tuning into this episode of In the Trenches with your TC. We will see you at the closing table.